Hey guys, welcome back to Chariot Palmistry. Today we're going to be looking at how to use the lines on your hands to balance your chakras. And this is an extension of a series that we've been doing. So if you want to know where the lines for the different chakras are on your hand, or if you're new to all of this, check out our channel page and that'll get you up to speed for where the rest of us are. Then come back and watch this video because we'll give you the techniques and the tools on how to actually balance your chakras using only the lines on your hand. And once you know what the chakras are and how to use them, what their energy is, you can then look at balancing them. There's actually lots of different ways to balance your chakras. You can either use music, gemstones, there's different meditations, there's music. You can even go to a healer, like a chakra balancing healer, and they'll do it for you as well. And just on that note, I actually do a lot of work with different healers. They send their clients to me and I look at their palms and I tell them where the different blockages are in their life. They then go back to the healer and the healer's just able to uncover it a whole lot quicker that way. So what I'm talking about here does actually have practical application. You can do it yourself or you can have a healer do it for you as well. And the general analogy with that is that think of a healer as like a fitness trainer. You know, you can do exercise yourself and you will get good results. But if you have a coach or a fitness expert helping you or guiding you along the way, then you'll get those same results just a whole lot quicker. And in fact, your results may be even better actually. And that's the context in which we're speaking. So today, most of what we're going to be talking about is a chakra balancing that you can do for yourself without a third party getting involved. Having said that, if you do have a professional healer, let them know where the blockages are as per what your lines are saying. Now there is a word of caution with this. Once you're balancing your chakras and you're balancing your energy, you don't want to be going overboard with this, because if you put too much energy into your system or if you take too much energy out of your system, you'll upset your equilibrium. And that's not a good thing. Just take things one step at a time, following the process that I'm about to show you. And the first step here is to find the weakest chakra in your system here. In order to do that, have a look at the lines for the chakras on your hand and find the one that's either the thinnest or the one that's broken the most or has the most crosses running through it. Once you find that chakra, move on to the next one, and once you look at all 7 of them, find the one that's fractured the most. Once you know that energy point, we can then look at ways to balance it out. The second step with this process is once you know the weakest chakra, you've got to look at its opposite. Now the opposite chakras are a little bit esoteric, so I just want to give you guys a very simple breakdown with this. If you have a weak first chakra, have a look at the 7th chakra. It's normally, if the first one's weak, the 7th one is going to be overactive, or that'll have excessive energy with it. And if you have a weak second chakra, have a look at the 6th chakra. That's the third eye. If one is weak, it's going to be counterbalanced by the other one being especially strong. The 3rd chakra counterbalances the 5th chakra. So if one is weak, the other one's going to be strong. You got to compare the 2 of those together. The 4th chakra, the one in the middle of your heart, that's sort of a lone agent. It doesn't have a counterpart or anything like that. If it's weak, it's generally because it sends a lot of its energy down into the 3rd chakra. And in order to balance that out, you've got to look at heart-based meditations. But we'll get to all of that in just a minute. But the key right now is once you know the weak chakra, find its opposite, see where the energy is strong or where it needs to be balanced. And the 3rd step in this process is once you know the energy that needs to be balanced, then you got to take action on it. So if you have a weak first chakra, you've got to do things that activate the first chakra. That's either through cardio exercise or some sort of movement-based meditation. And the idea is once you start a routine of something like this, once you start movement-based meditations or cardio exercise, you're then going to notice that this line gets stronger. And it might take 3 months or 6 months to get to that point, but you will eventually strengthen and develop this line over here. And in doing so, you'll notice that the line for the 7th chakra, that's going to start to get weaker or thinner until these 2 lines are closely balanced to each other. And if you have a weak 2nd chakra, you've got to have a look at creativity-based meditations. That's like painting, singing, music, all those creative pursuits, but in a meditative form. There is an alternative to this, and that's tantric-based meditation. And you guys know what I mean by that, don't you? A weak line for the 3rd chakra means there's too much fear in your system, and you can balance that out by doing lots of heart-based meditations. And you can also have a look at the Indian system of Gadam Yoga, which is action type of meditations. Volunteer work basically. The more you volunteer with other groups and other individuals who aren't as well off as you, the less fear and anxiety you're going to have in your own life. So this is a great form of strengthening the 3rd chakra. If you have a weak fourth chakra, that means you need to be looking at heart-based meditations. And the one that I personally think is the best is Anapana. It's a Buddhist compassion-based meditation. So get on Google or YouTube to search a little bit about that if you want information on this, but this is the type of work you got to be doing. A weak fifth chakra means that you've got a weak throat area. And to strengthen that, you've got to look at mantra-based meditation. So you've got to use your voice as a form of meditation. A weak sixth chakra is going to give you trouble with your third eye or your intuition. To balance that out, you've got to have a look at visualization-based meditations. That's where you like sit in a single place and they tell you imagine you're in a rainforest and there's a rainbow over you or that kind of thing. Those are the best meditations for people who have a weak line for the sixth chakra. A weak seventh chakra means you're too grounded. You don't live enough in your head, so to speak. And if that's the case with you, then any type of meditation is good for you, but in particular, the ones where you're connecting to higher angelic realms. And again, there's plenty of meditation information on this on YouTube, so again, search for something like that and you'll come up with plenty of results that can help you out with this. And then step 4 is to come back and check and reevaluate these things regularly. So as I said, it might take you 3 to 6 months to strengthen the line for a single chakra. And once you do that and you're checking that it's balanced with the chakra and its counterpart opposite, then you've got to look at the next line. Balance that out, and a couple months later come back and look at the next line after that as well. Okay, so let's have a look at some examples now just to make sure that you guys get this. Okay, so this is the hand of a man, I believe he's 32 years of age when this photograph was taken. Now let's have a look at the lines for his chakras. If you look at the line for the first chakra over here, you can see it's pretty thin. So right off the bat, we can say that this person isn't very well grounded. Now compare the strength of this line to the strength of the first chakra. You can see how thick that one is. So this guy clearly lives too much in his head and not enough in the here and now. So that would probably be the starting point. But before we give any recommendations to this guy, let's have a look at the other chakras. The second chakra, that line looks pretty good. I mean, there is a break in the middle of it, but it's not too bad there. The line for the sixth chakra, that also looks pretty good. Again, there's a break in it, which isn't ideal, but it's still reasonably good there. The third chakra is a little hard to see in this image because he's got his ring over it and also there's a bit of the fold of his skin there, but that looks reasonably okay here as well. And comparing that line to the line for the throat chakra, both of these look pretty good also. The heart chakra, again, looks a little bit fractured, but it's not too bad. So just looking at this guy's hand, what we can say is he's just not grounded enough. And that's what's giving him most of his energy problems. Now to confirm that, let's have a look at the lines for the hand chakras and also the feet chakras. And you can notice the feet chakra line is very, very weak, whereas the hand chakra lines is reasonably thicker and stronger. So again, that confirms what we were saying before. This guy just isn't grounded enough. So what does he do about it? The solution for this is exercise. And as simple as that sounds, some Buddhist walking meditation or cardio exercise, that'll start to lift his energy here with the base chakra. And once that happens, we can then start looking at what we can do to fine-tune the other chakras. After this point, I'd say probably look at some third eye meditations to strengthen up the line for the third eye. And that should generally be enough to help this guy out. Okay, so here's another example. Let's start by looking at this guy's base chakra. You can see it's not very good. There's a big cross running right through the center of this line and it doesn't complete all the way across. So that would be the starting point for our analysis here. The line for the first chakra looks reasonably okay. It's not too thick, it's not too thin, but there are some bubbles in the middle of it. Let's move on to the second chakra. You can see that one actually looks really good here. And same with the one for the third eye. So those two are pretty well balanced, so there's no recommendations we could give for that one. The chakra for the solar plexus looks really fractured here as well. There's a lot of lines crisscrossing all over the place here. Comparing that one to the line for the throat chakra is looking pretty good. So again, we can see that this guy is holding on to a lot of fear and anxiety. His heart chakra line again is very broken and there's a big cross running through the middle of that one too. So having a look at these lines here, we can say that this guy is got very poor energy with his heart chakra The solar plexus chakra isn't working very well. He's also having trouble with his base chakra, the first one here also. The starting point to help this guy out would be to address the heart chakra, because that's the one that's the most fractured over here. I'd get him into some heart-based meditations, probably Anapana or something along those lines. That should start to strengthen this chakra. That in turn will help out the third chakra, at least to some degree. Once he gets that done, we'd then get him onto third base chakra meditations, doing some volunteer work and that kind of thing. And once he strengthens that line up, then we could get him onto looking after his base chakra, which would be, again, movement-based meditations or that sort of thing. Alright guys, that's how to use the lines on your hands to balance your chakras. Now understand the key with all of this is balance. You're never going to get a perfect chakra system, but what you are going to get is something better than what you've had before. So if you keep doing that inner work, you keep that self-development happening, your chakras will get stronger, and as that happens, you'll start to grow spiritually here as well. That's the key to all of this, spiritual growth. It all comes about as a result of inner work that you do for yourself. And that's why we recommend meditation is the best way to balance your chakras. I believe that healers have their place, gemstones, music, mantras, all that stuff does work, but it all starts off the back of personal self-development and self-effort. Alright guys, that's my take on the chakra system here. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Otherwise, hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you very much.